SARandolphMinistries.com. I want to let you know that I bless God for you coming by and checking out my website. I hope that you're extremely blessed by what you hear and see here at SA Randolph Ministries. A lot of people have a written about me page, but I've been talking since I was probably like two or three. So I'm gonna stay in that vein today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sharnae Randolph. I'm a native of Cleveland, Ohio. After I left Cleveland, I attended college at the University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio. Go Rockets. I left Toledo in 2011, right as I got ready to graduate, or probably beginning of 2011. God really dropped in my spirit that I was moving to Richmond, Virginia. Needless to say, I didn't know anybody in Richmond. I didn't really know anything about Richmond. I didn't have a job in Richmond, but I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that that's what God was speaking to my spirit. So, in August of 2011, I packed up my car and me and my very, very good friend Chanel drove down here, and that was pretty much all she wrote. And after that, I haven't looked back, not seriously anyway. I thank God for how He's blessed me since I've been in Richmond and just all the things that He's really doing in my life. So, kind of about my heart and what 40 Days of Dedication is all about, because that is the title of my book, 40 Days of Dedication: The Journey to Unlocking Your God Given Purpose. When I was at the University of Toledo, I pledged a co ed Christian fraternity entitled Alpha Omega Co ed Christian Fraternity Incorporated. AAL. And I was affectionately deemed Big Sister Dedication. This was pretty much my gift and my curse, that, when I was dedicated to something, I go hard. Like, you ain't gonna get me to stop. But when I didn't want to do it, you really couldn't get me to go. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. And that was pretty much the story my whole life. Like, growing up, I would do stuff for a while and then I would quit. Like, when it was no longer on my terms, or I didn't really feel like I wanted to do it anymore, I would quit. You know what I mean? That's what I did. And I never really saw a lot of things through fully, completely, enough to even get great at it. But I just was like, don't want to do that no more. So after I went through the process of joining the Christian fraternity, I began to really seek God. Like, this is my new name, and I'm trying to find out, like, can I really be dedicated to God? And what I thought would be 40 days turned into well over 100 days off and on, because I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I was journaling every day, kind of telling God what my heart was and allowing God to speak back to me. And after the 100 days, it really turned into a series of journals that God began to birth the book 40 Days of Dedication out of. After I moved to Richmond, I was very unemployed for a while. So I didn't realize it fully at the time, but I see now that God was allowing me the opportunity and birthing in me the book, allowing me to just have free time to write and hear from Him. And, a year and a half later, here we are at, the launching of 40 Days of Dedication. And honestly, my heart for this book, it came out of my own personal struggle to really find out what my dedication was, what my purpose, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm a Christian, I've been doing this for a while, but what is my life really supposed to look like? Where am I going? What am I doing? And that's some questions a lot of people have. A lot of people have in their heart, like, well, who am I? Where am I going? Like, what's my life supposed to look like? As a believer, I go to church, or even as an unbeliever, I don't know. I just don't know what I was created for. And that's the vein that I believe God began to birth in this book, like, really what you were created for and how to get there. You know what I mean? Purpose doesn't necessarily come overnight. It's not necessarily a quick fix, but it's a process. It's a process to just letting God speak to you and letting God mold you and make you into the person that He wants you to be. But it first starts with you understanding that you need Him, because it's not going to work by yourself. You weren't created by yourself. You didn't come into this world like, I'm going to take the world by storm. God, through your parents, He used them as vessels. but created you, and you have to always go back to the creator, or the the maker, and see what I was really designed for. So that's really my heart, to really empower people not to just exist, not to be okay with the mundane activity, but to want more, to want God's best in your life. So that's pretty much what this project is about, seeking to get God's best. What does it look like in my life? What does God's best really look like? And can I be dedicated to achieving that? So that's pretty much my heart. That's pretty much my story. Anything else you want to know about me? I don't know. Feel free to, the next page on here is prayer request. Feel free to leave me a prayer request. I want to pray with you. I want to believe God for you. I want to see God's best manifested in your life. I want to hear the testimonies after God moves. And if there's anything else you want to know about me, I have a very interesting testimony. Um, so anything you want to hear as far as that's concerned, I want to share with you. I want you to see that God can take a nobody, and not that anybody's really a nobody, but people who, anybody, you know what I mean, and make them who he wants them to be. And it doesn't take you being the most eloquent, or the one that everybody else would have picked, or what I mean, the most, the smartest, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we feel like we have to be, oh, I'm not like them, or I'm not as pretty as them, or I'm not as whatever. But it's, God wants to use you. God wants to see you living his best. And all it takes is really saying, God, I want to see what your best looks like in my life. You be that for me. So I pray that you're blessed tremendously by this book. Let me know um, how your life has changed, or what happened during the process. And I promise this, that if you pick up this book and go through these 40 days, you will be blessed by it. I promise you that. And not because I'm such a great author, or because I'm so awesome, because I am not. I'm just a vessel that God used, and I'm grateful for that. But because I know that he moved through me and he blessed me in the process. So I thank God for that. So you all, thank you once again for visiting my page. I know I got a little long-winded there. Sorry about that. But I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing your stories. And I pray that you are blessed abundantly. Be encouraged that the best is yet to come for you.